Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture. So, the plan for this lecture is as follows. We will introduce some candidate cyclic groups where we believe the DDH problem, CDH problem and the discrete log problems are indeed difficult to solve. So, namely we will introduce the prime order cyclic groups. So, let us begin our discussion with the importance of good cyclic groups. So, remember that in the last lecture we have seen the definition of the D log assumption, CDH assumption and DDH assumption. So, if we are designing any cryptographic primitive whose security is based on the hardness of these problems, then we need to appropriately choose the underlying cyclic groups, because if the underlying cyclic groups that we use to instantiate the cryptographic primitive, if in those groups these problems are easier to solve, then the resultant cryptographic primitive will no longer be secure. So, now the interesting question is for which cyclic groups or for which candidate cyclic groups indeed these problems, namely the D log problem, the CDH problem or the DDH problem are indeed difficult to solve, right. So, remember in the last lecture the concrete steps of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol were given assuming that we are operating on a group where the D log, CDH and DDH problem are indeed difficult. But now our question is how exactly we find those groups. So, there are two popular choices of cyclic groups or candidate cyclic groups where we believe that these problems are indeed difficult to solve. The first choice is the groups of prime order, namely groups where the number of elements is some prime number. However, it turns out that not all the prime order cyclic groups are appropriate for cryptographic applications. In fact, we will see some candidate prime order cyclic groups where D log problem, CDH problem, DDH problem are indeed very easy to solve. But it turns out that we have other types of prime order cyclic groups where we strongly believe that D log, CDH and DDH problem are indeed difficult to solve. The second choice for picking the candidate cyclic groups is the group based on the points on elliptic curves, right. So, in this lecture we will consider the groups of prime order based on certain properties. In the next lecture we will see the cyclic groups based on the points on elliptic curves, and then we will compare these two types of groups, which one is better to instantiate the cryptographic primitives whose security is based on the hardness of D log, CDH and DDH assumption. So, before we proceed further, let us see the inappropriate cyclic groups for cryptographic applications, namely which cyclic groups we should avoid for instantiating cryptographic primitives whose security is based on D log, CDH and DDH assumption. So, we start with the multiplicative group, namely the set ZP star, where ZP star consists of the elements 1 to p minus 1 and my underlying operation is multiplication modulo p. So, remember multiplication modulo p is defined as follows. If you want to perform the multiplication modulo p of two numbers a and b from the set ZP star, then you perform the integer multiplication a b and take the remainder by doing a mod p operation, which ensures that the resultant remainder is in the set 102 ZP star. It turns out that this set ZP star along with this multiplication modulo p operation constitutes a cyclic group of order p minus 1. Why of order p minus 1? Because the elements in this set ZP star are the elements 1 to p minus 1. So, it has p minus 1 number of elements, and since p is prime, p minus 1 cannot be prime. That is why the order of this group is a non-prime number, and we can prove that this group is a cyclic group. And we have efficient algorithms for picking a generator for this group given the factorization of p minus 1. So, remember the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol steps that we had seen in the last lecture. The public setup that we need there is the description of the group, where as part of the description of the group the details of the generator should also be publicly known. So, we need polytime algorithms for picking the generator, and when I say polytime algorithms I mean polynomial in the number of bits that we need to represent the elements of the set ZP star. So, we have polytime algorithms, efficient algorithms for picking generators for this group given that you are knowing given the factorization of p minus 1. So, that is also a plus side of this group. Also, it is believed that the D log problem is indeed difficult to solve in this group provided p is sufficiently large. So, that is also a good news with respect to this group, but the problem here is that DDH problem is not hard in general in this group, and that means we cannot use this group to instantiate the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol, because remember, for the security of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol, namely for the strong privacy of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol, we need that the DDH problem should be difficult to solve in the underlying group. So, if I use ZP star along with the operation multiplication modulo P as my underlying cyclic group and perform operations as per the steps of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol, then it is not guaranteed that the resultant key exchange protocol satisfies the notion of strong privacy, because it is not guaranteed that the DDH problem in this specific group is hard. So, that means this group is suitable only to instantiate those applications or those cryptographic primitives whose security is just based on the D-log assumption and not on the DDH assumption, which is not the case for the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol. So, that is a bad news with respect to this group. So, that means you can see now the group ZP star with operation multiplication modulo P may not be a suitable group to instantiate the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol, it is an inappropriate cyclic group. Now, consider the additive group. So, the previous group ZP star with the operation multiplication modulo P was a multiplicative group. Now, consider an additive group where my set is ZP consisting of the elements 0 to P minus 1, and my operation is addition modulo P, where addition modulo P on elements A and B is defined as follows. You perform the integer addition of A and B and take the remainder with respect to the modulo P. That is a way we define addition of A and B modulo P. So, with respect to this group, the following facts are known. First of all, this group is known to be a cyclic group, and that too of prime order, because the number of elements in the set ZP is 0 to P minus 1, namely it has P number of elements where P is a prime, and it is known to be a cyclic group. So, that is a good news. And another interesting property of this prime order group is that every element except the identity element is a generator, and this is not only specific to this group, this property holds with respect to any group which has a prime order. A fundamental fact which comes from the abstract algebra is that if you have a group whose order is prime, namely it consists of prime number of elements, then any element from that group except the identity element of that group is a generator. So, picking generator is not at all going to be a sophisticated task if we operate or if we perform operations in this group. You can pick any element except 0, that is bound to be a generator. However, the most unfortunate part or the most unfortunate fact with respect to this group is that the D-log problem is very easy to solve in this group. In poly amount of time, you can compute the D-log of any randomly chosen element from this set with probability 1. So, what exactly will be an instance of the D-log problem in this group, right? So, you pick a random index alpha in the set 0 to P minus 1, because your group is of size P, and you compute alpha times G, where G is the publicly known generator, and say the resultant output is U, and the challenge for you is to compute this unknown alpha such that alpha times G modulo P would have given you U. So, what are the things known to you? You are knowing G here, you are knowing U here, and you know that everything is related modulo P here, and your goal is to find out alpha here. It turns out that we can easily compute alpha here by multiplying both the side with the multiplicative inverse of G, and multiplicative inverse of G modulo P can be computed in polynomial amount of time, and if we multiply both the sides with multiplicative inverse of G, then the effect of G and G cancels out, and what you are left with is alpha, and hence you are obtaining the value of alpha, namely the discrete log of U to the base G in polynomial amount of time. So, I am not giving the full details of the discrete log solver for this group, but that is the overall idea. So, even though this specific group has some nice properties, namely it is a prime order cyclic groups, picking generators is not a difficult task. The most unfortunate part here is that the D-log problem is very easy to solve, and that automatically implies that the CDH problem is easy to solve, and which automatically implies that the DDH problem is also easier to solve in this group. So, that means this group cannot be used at all to instantiate any cryptographic primitive whose security is based on the hardness of D-log problem, CDH problem, DDH problem. So, now let us see another group which is quite appropriate to instantiate cryptographic primitives based on the security of D-log and CDH DDH problems, and this group is basically prime order cyclic subgroup of the group ZP star with the operation multiplicative modulo P. So, let P and Q be primes publicly known such that P is related to Q in this form, namely P is equal to R times Q plus 1, where R is also publicly known. And then let me define a set G to be the set of all elements of the form H to the power R modulo P, where H belongs to the set ZP star. So, pictorially what I am doing here is, you imagine this the elements in this bigger circle as the elements of ZP star, and ZP star has P minus 1 number of elements, because my underlying operation is multiplication modulo P. What I am doing here is, in the set G, big G, I am just collecting some smaller, I am collecting a subsets of elements from ZP star, namely I am collecting all the rth residues modulo P. Why rth residues? Because I am taking H from ZP star, raising it to the power R and taking modulo P, and that is why the resultant can be viewed as rth residue modulo P. For instance, if R is equal to say 2, then basically G consists of all the elements which are perfect squares modulo P, because I will be collecting elements of the form H square mod P, where H belongs to ZP star. Whereas, if R would have been 3, then G basically consists of all the elements which are perfect cube modulo P, and so on. So, in general, if G is some H to the power R, then G is the set of all rth residues modulo P. So, that is the way I am computing this set G here. And a very interesting result from number theories, which I am not going to prove here, explicitly states that the collection G or the subset G which is or the set G which is a subset of ZP star along with the operation multiplicative modulo P constitutes a group of order Q. Namely, the set G will have Q number of elements, and since I have selected Q to be a prime, that means the order of G is a prime, and we can prove that if we perform the operation multiplication modulo P on the elements that we have selected in the set G, then it satisfies the group axioms. Namely, we can prove that the elements in G can be expressed as the powers of the generator, where the indices of the power will be in the range 0 to Q minus 1 for some generator little g belonging to the set big G. And moreover, the important interesting property that we obtain here is that since my set G or the group G has prime order, every element in this set G except the identity element will be a generator for the subgroup which I have picked. Why I am calling it subgroup? Because the elements in the set big G is a subset of the elements in ZP star, but the operation in this set G, namely multiplication modulo P, is the same as the operation in the bigger group, namely ZP star. That is why I am calling it as a subgroup. So, since the order of this subgroup is prime, every element from this subgroup will be an identity element except the will be a generator except the identity element. Moreover, for the subgroup that I have chosen here, we have efficient algorithms for picking random elements as well as for performing group exponentiation. So, remember, if you recall the steps of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol, their sender and receiver have to pick random elements from the underlying group over which they are performing the operations. So, for that we need to have efficient algorithms, polytime algorithms for picking random elements from the group, and it turns out that if I set my group to be the set of all rth residues modulo P, then I have efficient algorithms for picking random elements from that group, and also for performing group exponentiation. And it turns out that D-log, CDH, DDH, all these problems are believed to be very hard for sufficiently large values of P and Q if I pick my subgroup G to be the set of all rth residues modulo P. Okay. So, let us see an illustration of prime order cyclic subgroups of ZP star. So, imagine P is equal to 11, where P 11 is a prime number. So, I can express 11 in the form 2 times 5 plus 1, and Z11 star basically consists of the elements 1 to 10. So, if I take my Q to be 5, then P and Q are related as 2 times 5 plus 1. So, I can take my R to be 2, and what I can do is I can set my set G to be all the perfect squares modulo 11, namely I take all the elements H from the set Z11 star, raise it to the power 2 and do modulo 11, and the resultant output is my collection G. So, what I have done in this table is I have taken all the elements from the set Z11 star and the resultant squares, and if I take the resultant squares I obtain my set G, namely my set G consists of the elements 1, 3, 4, 5, 9. And you can see in these tables that under the squares the elements 1, 3, 4, 5, 9 are repeated twice, right. So, 1 square gives me 1 and so is 10 square gives me 1, 2 square gives me 4 and so does 9 square, 3 square gives me 9 and 8 square gives me 9 and so on. This is because any perfect square, namely an element in the set big G, will have 2 square roots because it is a square residue, right. So, it will have 2 square roots modulo p, and if one of the square roots is a, then the other square root will be minus a, and minus a here is nothing but p minus a. So, for instance, if I take the element 9 which is an element of G, then it has 2 square roots because it is the result of 3 square. So, that is why 3 is one of the square roots, and similarly 9 is the result of 8 square modulo 11, and that is why 8 is also one of the square roots of 9, right. And it is easy to see that the subset 1, 3, 4, 5, 9 along with the operation multiplication modulo 11 constitutes a group of order 5. You can verify that. In the same way, for the same example where p is equal to 11, I can take my q to be 2 and accordingly r will be 5. And now, if I focus on the fifth residue modulo 11, namely the collection of all h to the power 5 modulo 11 where h belongs to Z11 star, then I obtain the subset 1 comma 10, and this subset 1 comma 10 it can be seen to we can see that it actually constitutes a cyclic group of order 2 because it has two elements and it has the identity element, and 10 is the generator. Okay. So, that is the illustration here, but I have not proved the generic result, namely if I take p and q to be of the form p is equal to r times q plus 1, then the set of all rth residues gives you a cyclic group. I am not proving that. You can see any of the standard references for number theory for the proof of that fact. So, now the question is we have seen that we can form prime order cyclic subgroups of ZP star, and D log, CDH, DDH problems are believed to be very difficult in those cyclic subgroups. The question turns out that what should be the magnitude of the resultant P and the Q to ensure that indeed the D log, CDH and DDH problems are difficult in the resultant subgroups, right. So, the problem that we want to address here is we are given P and Q which are primes where P is of the form R times Q plus 1, and we have collected the set of we have formed a set of rth residues which we know is a cyclic group which has a generator little g, and say the number of bits that we need to represent P is L and the number of bits that we need to represent Q is N. Now, the best known algorithms for solving the discrete log problem in the subgroup that we have formed here, it falls under two categories. We have the class 1 algorithms that we know for solving the discrete log problem in this subgroup, their running time is of order root to the power q. And now, since q is of the magnitude 2 to the power n, that means root q will be of the magnitude 2 to the power n by 2. So, even though this is an exponential time in this underlying security parameter, we have to very judiciously decide the value of little n when we are instantiating this subgroup for instantiating a cryptographic primitive whose security is based on the D log assumption. It turns out that if we set n equal to 256, right, namely if we select q which is a 256 bit prime and accordingly set a prime p where p and q are related by the relationship that p is r times q plus 1, then just by setting n equal to 256 we achieve a level of security which is comparable to AES 128. So, remember when we saw the practical instantiations of block ciphers like AES, DES, there we aim for the practical security, and by practical security of AES 128, I mean that the best possible attack that an adversary can launch to recover an AES key, where the adversary is given several x comma y pairs, where x is the AES inputs and the y is the corresponding AES output under an unknown key, then the complexity of the best known attack should be of order 2 to the power 128. So, it turns out that if we instantiate any cryptographic primitive based on the hardness of D-log problem by selecting a cyclic subgroup of ZP star by setting n equal to 256, then the best known algorithm for solving the D-log problem by this class of algorithm will take time roughly of order 2 to the power 256 by 2, which will be of order 2 to the power 128. That means, we get the same level of security as your AES 128 would have provided. Whereas, the class 2 algorithms for solving the D-log problem in this cyclic subgroup, its running time is of order polylogarithmic in the value L, right. So, its running time precisely is 2 to the power its running time is 2 to the power order polylogarithmic in the number of bits that we need to represent P. So, as of 2016, this class 2 algorithms can be used to solve instance of D-log problem for any instantiation of the cyclic subgroup where L is 768, and it is suggested that to have meaningful notion of security, we should operate by setting L to be 2048. That means, if we summarize, to tackle the class 1 algorithms and class 2 algorithms that we have for solving the D-log problems in this cyclic subgroups, to ensure that we have reasonable amount of security, or the running time of the adversary for solving the discrete log problem is of sufficiently large order, we have to perform computations modulo 2048 bit prime numbers. That means, say for instance, if we use the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol, and if we instantiate the steps of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol by setting my G to be the set of all rth residues modulo P, then I have to ensure that my size of P should be my P should be a 2048 bit large prime number. That means, I have to both sender and the receiver have to perform computations modulo this large bit prime number, which actually reduces the running time of both sender and the receiver. So, even though we have now a candidate subgroup which we can now use to instantiate any cryptographic primitive whose security is based on the hardness of D-log, CDH and DDH assumption, it turns out that the running time of the sender, receiver or all the involved parties also reduces, because we are going to perform operations modulo a very large prime number. So, an interesting question will be, can we have other kind of candidate cyclic groups where we do not have to perform operations modulo such a huge prime number, but still the CDH problem, DDH problem and D-log problem are difficult to solve in those alternative groups. And in the next lecture, we will see one such candidate group. So, that brings me to the end of this lecture. In this lecture, we have introduced one candidate cyclic group, namely the cyclic subgroup of ZP star with respect to the operation multiplication modulo P, and we believe that the CDH problem, the D-log problem and the DDH problems are indeed difficult to solve in these groups. However, to obtain practical level of security, we have to set the value of the modulo P, or we have to set the size of the modulus P to be a very large number to ensure that sender and receiver obtain reasonable amount of security, which actually ends up making the running time of the sender and the receiver also slow. Thank you.